Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschooling channel. Today we are going to start part 3 of Lines and Angles chapter. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2 of Lines and Angles chapter, I would request you to go and watch part 1 and 2, clear your basics first, then come to the part 3. In part 3 we are going to cover some difficult questions along with some previous year SAT questions. So let's go. In the question it is given that in the figure line L is parallel to M. Line L is these two lines are parallel to each other. We have to find what is the value of K. We have to find what is this angle. So let's draw a line parallel to L and M. So this is we have drawn a line parallel to L and M. Let's name this line as N. So as we know that this whole angle, this angle plus this angle is 101 degree. So first what we can see that these two are parallel lines. Okay, these two are parallel lines and this is a transversal line, so the sum of interior angles would be 180 degree. So if this angle is 180 degree, then this angle would be 180 minus 118, that would be 62 degree. So this angle would be 62 degree, and as we know that this whole angle is 101, so this angle would be 101 minus 62, that would be 9 and 39 degree. So this angle is 39 degree, this angle is 39 degree, and this angle is 62 degree. So as we know that these two L and N are two parallel lines and this is a transversal line, so the alternate interior angle would be also equal, so these two angles would be also equal. So the angle K would be equal to 39 degree, because these two are parallel lines and this is a transversal line, so the alternate interior angles would be same. So the value of K is 39 degree. Now moving to the next question. In this question it is given that in figure line L is parallel to N, so these two lines are parallel to each other and this is a transversal line. If measure of angle 1 is twice to the measure of angle 2, so if let's say if angle 2 is x, then angle 1 would be twice of angle 2, that would be 2x. Then what is the measure of angle 1? So here we are going to find what is this angle. So as we have taken angle 1 as 2x and angle 2 as x, these two angles are vertically opposite angles, so both the angles would be same, so this would be also x. And these two are parallel lines, L and M, and this is a transversal, so the interior and the sum of interior angle, this angle and this angle, the sum of these two interior angles would be 180 degree. So 2x plus x is equal to 180 degree, because in their interior angle. So 3x would be 180 degree, x would be 180 divided by 3, that would be 60 degree. So we have to find what is the measure of angle 1. Angle 1 is 2x, that would be 16 to 2, 120 degree. So your answer would be B, 120 degree. And in this question it is given that in given figure line L is parallel to M, so these two lines are parallel to M. If the measure of angle 1 is 20 degree more than angle 2, so let's take angle 2 as x and angle 1 in the given question it is said that angle 1 is 20 degree more than angle 2, so x angle 2 is x, so it should be 20 degree more, that would be x plus 20, so angle 1 would be x plus 20 degree. So what we have to find what is the measure of angle 1. So this angle is x plus 20 and this one is x. So I would ask, as we have read in part 2 question number 15, that if there are two parallel lines and there is a figure like this, then and there are three angles, then these two angles, the sum of these two angles would be equal to this central angle. So I have proved that in part 2. You can go and watch if you haven't watched part 2. So as per that, and the figure, this is a perpendicular line, so it is 90 degree. So as we have read and proved in part 2, question number 15, that sum of these two angle would be equal to this central angle. So x angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to central angle, that is 90 degree. So x plus angle 1, x plus 20 plus x is equal to 90 degree. So 2x and 20 on that side, so 90 minus 20, 70 degree. X would be 70 by 2, that would be 35 degree. We have to find the measure of angle 1. So angle 1 is x plus 20, that would be 35 plus 20, 55 degree. So your answer would be 55 degree. Now moving to the next question, in the figure line L is parallel to M. These two lines are parallel to each other. What is the value of B? So we have to find the value of this angle, and we have these two more angles. So see, if we take angle A and angle B, these two angles, their sum would be 180 degree because these two angles are interior angles. See, these two are parallel lines and this is a transversal, so these two angles would be interior angles, so their sum would be 180 degree. So A plus B would be 180 degree. Let's take this one as angle 1, as equation 1. And as we know that as we have read in the triangles chapter, that exterior angle is sum of opposite interior angle. So in triangles we have read that this angle would be equal to sum of these two interior angles, this and this. So B is equal to A plus 80 degree. So this is equation 2. So from both the equation, if we put B in this first equation, so A plus B is A plus 80 degree is equal to 180. So 2A is 180 minus 80, that would be 100. A is 50 degree. So as we know that A, so this angle would be 50, this angle is 50. We have to find the value of B. So if we put the value of A in equation 2, so B would be 50 plus 80, that would be 130 degree. So your answer would be C, 130 degree. Now moving to the next question. In the figure, line L is parallel to M, so these two lines are parallel to each other. So we have to find which of the following is correct. out of these four options, which of the following is correct? See, this is these types of questions are asked in exam to waste your time. So whenever you're choosing the option, never start from the top, always go from the bottom. Okay, so as we know that these two L and M are parallel lines and this is a transversal line. So as we know that this is a transversal, so these two angles would be equal angle, because these are alternate interior angles. So if this is E degree, so this would be also E degree. Okay, now let's start checking that which of the following is correct. So always when these types of questions are given, always start from the bottom. So D plus E is equal to B. So D plus E, so D plus E is equal to B, as we have read in part 2 question number 15 that sum of these two angles, I have proved that sum of these two angles would be equal to this angle. So if we take this one as a, like from this figure we can this line. Okay, so the sum of these two D and E, E and D is equal to B. So yes, this would be correct. Now let's take other question. So for A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C is 180 degree. It cannot be possible, as we can see, because we know that sum of, like if we have made a line like this, then sum of these two interior angles would be equal to 180 degree. So this would not be acceptable. Similarly, A plus B would be equal, should be equal to 180 degree, but as we can see, half of the B is uh, below the line and half of the B is above the line, so it could not be 180 degree. So this is also not correct. Similarly, B plus E, so B plus E is equal to C. There is no such correlation, so this would not be, so this would be also incorrect. So this is correct. You have to remember this. A lot of questions have been asked from this. I have proved this in part 2 of lines and angle, question number 15. You can go there and watch how I have proved the sum of these two angles is equal to this central interior angle. Now moving to the next question. In the figure, line L, M, N are parallel to each other. These three lines are parallel to each other and these are two transversal lines. So it is given that if AB is 8, so AB is 8, BC is 12, BC is 12, and PQ is 10. So PQ is 10. So what is QR? So if you have read splitting theorem in triangles chapter, that whenever a triangle, any triangle uh, is divided by line, then they divide the sides of the triangle in equal proportion. So if you take this and if you remove this part, so the proportions would be similar. So from splitting theorem we can say that AB by BC would be equal to PQ by QR. If we, from splitting theorem, we can say that. So AB is 8, BC is 12, PQ is 10, and QR. So QR would be 10 into 12 by 8, 4 times, 5 times. So QR would be 5 into 3, 15. So your answer would be 15. Now moving to the next question. Now in this question it is given that line AB is parallel to CD. These two lines are parallel to each other. We have to find the value of x and y. So as we have read that sum of two interior angles is of interior angle is, so sum of these two angles would be 180 degree interior, and because these two angles are interior angles, so their sum would be 180 degree. So if this is 110, then y would be 180 minus 110, that would be 70. And if this one is 60 degree, so sum of these two angles would be also 180 degree. So if this one is 60, then this one would be x would be 120, because sum of these two angles would be 180 as it is an interior angle. So now we know what the value of x and y. So x is 120, y is 70, so it would be equal to 50 degree. So the value of x minus y would be 50 degree. Now moving to the next question. In the figure, what is the value of a and b? Mod a minus b. So whatever the value would be, the value would be always in positive because mod is given, mod a minus b. So as we can see, there are two triangles here, and this is one triangle and this is the second triangle, and we know there are four angles given, and let's take this one is angle 1 and this one is angle 2. Okay, now as we know that sum of all the angles in a triangle is 180 degree, so angle 1 plus angle A plus 50 degree is equal to 180 degree, because sum of all the angles in a triangle is 180 degree. Similarly, if you take this triangle, so angle 2 plus 28 plus angle B is 180 degree. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. From both the equation we can write that angle 1 plus angle A plus angle 50 degree is equal to angle 2 plus 28 plus angle B. And as we can see that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because both the angles are vertically opposite, so both the angles would be same. So angle 1 and angle 2 are same, so we can deduct it, and so now we can write that angle A plus 50 degree is equal to 28 degree plus angle B. So we can write this as angle A minus angle B is 28 degree minus 50 degree. So that that would be how much? 28 t, that would be 50 minus 28, that would be 2 and 22 degree. So that would be 22 minus 22 degree. As in the question it is given as mod a minus b, mod a degree minus mod b degree, so it would, we can write it as mod minus 22 degree. So if we take it out of the mod, then it would be positive, so 22 degree. So your answer would be 22 degree. Now moving to the next question. In the figure of a rectangular pentagon, line CD is parallel to AB. So these two are parallel to each other. If angle DC is x, so this angle is x degree. So what is x? So here it is a pentagon, and as we know that the interior angle of a pentagon is 108 degrees. So this angle, this angle, this angle, all these angles would be equal to 108 degree. Okay, so now what we can do here is, as we have read that if there are two parallel lines and if it is a figure like this, then these two angles would be equal to this angle, as we have already read. So sum of these two angles would be how much? This angle and this angle would be 180 degree. So if one is 108 degree, then the other one would be 72 degree. Okay, and this one, this middle angle is 108 degree, and we have read that the sum of these two angles would be equal to this angle. From this diagram, as we have read earlier, that sum of these two angles, x plus 72, would be equal to this angle, central angle, that is 108. So x would be 108 minus 72, that would be 6 and 3. So so x is 36 degree. So this is going to be your answer, 36 degree. Now moving to the next question. uh, in the figure above, angle XAB, angle XAB, this angle, and angle XYA, this angle XYA, this angle are inscribed in the circle. If AB is diameter, so AB is diameter, so it is passing through the center of the circle, center of the circle, center of the circle, and the measure of angle XAB is 65 degree. So angle XAB, this angle is 65 degree. So we have to find the value of x. So first we will take triangle XAB. In triangle XAB, so as we know that if a triangle passes through the diameter, if a triangle, one of the side of the triangle is the diameter of a circle, then this angle would be 90 degree. We have read that property in circle chapter. Or there is one more property in circle, that inscribed angle is always half of central angle. So if this is your center here, so this will form 180 degree, so this would be 90 degree. Half of it, that of 180 degree, that is 90 degree. So in triangle XAB, we already know angle X is 90 degree, angle A is 65 degree. So what is going to be angle B? So angle B, as we know, the sum of all the angles in triangle is 180 degree. So angle B plus angle A plus X plus angle A, the sum is 180 degree. So angle B would be 180 minus 90 plus 65, that would be 155, and 180 minus 155, 25 degree. So this is going to be 25 degree, and we have already read that uh, in circle, that like in the basics we have read that if there is a chord and there are two angles, there are two triangles from the same chord. If you take this and this, so these two angles would be always equal. We have proved this in circles chapter. So similarly, if AX is the common chord, okay, AX is the common chord, and these two are the triangle XAB and XAY, these two are two triangles like this, then both the angles would be same. So if angle B is 20 degree, 25 degree, then angle X would be also 25 degree, because AX is common chord. We have read that in AX is common chord. So the value of X would be, 25 degrees. So this is going to be your answer. So this is the end of the video. If you like the way I teach and want to buy a comprehensive course for SAT exam at a very affordable price, you can download our app from the App Store and start your self-paced preparation from pre-recorded videos provided in the course. My course also includes chapter-wise practice questions along with 20 test series at par with SAT exam. You can find all the links in the description below.